What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Witty Sports Talk. This time for another golf video. Did the Masters a while back. Didn't really have time to do the PGA Championship or anything since then. But the U.S. Open teeing off in a couple days this Thursday through Sunday at Pinehurst in North Carolina. Tiger Woods back for the first time since the PGA Championship. The LIV players back for a major. And plenty of great players teeing it up in North Carolina this weekend. A competitive tournament surely on the books. Hopefully no police involvement this time around for this major with Scottie Scheffler or anybody else for that matter. Plenty of great players, plenty of storylines. I've picked out a couple players to preview for the tournament and just to make it an easier video as a whole. And, we'll get right into it. Sue's going to take home the U.S. Open. All right, first off, we're going to start with the number one player in the world, Scottie Scheffler. Won last week at the Memorial, even with a poor last day, shot +2 in the final. They pulled it out over Colin Morikawa. He's won 4 out of his last 8 tournaments and had 2 second-place finishes in that time. Clearly the best player in the world. As I said, been there all year long, and when he is on, he's on, and you can't really stop him. It's kind of like if you hear him coming, if you see him on the leaderboard rising and you're another player, you kind of are a little scared there that he can just really turn it up. As long as his putter's working, which he made the adjustment a couple tournaments back, he seems to be rolling his putts now from 3, 6, 9, 12 feet and yards away for that matter. He really just can turn it on whenever he wants. And even though he's played maybe not as well as he's wanted to the past couple tournaments, didn't win 2 in a row there, PGA Championship, and then right after that, that's when he had the whole police fiasco going on. So had a lot more on his mind than just swinging a golf club. But then last week at the Memorial, he turned it around, won it again, but still I don't think he played his best. Had a couple swings and shots where he was probably a little annoyed at it. And then the final day, like I said, +2, not how he'd want to finish out. But still, I think he goes in as the prohibited favorite for the U.S. Open. The fans now love him even more after the police stuff, and I think that it's one where if he can make the charge, if he starts well, makes the charge on the weekend, we could see him lifting the U.S. Open again for another major for Scottie Scheffler, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he wins the whole thing. Moving on now to Rory McIlroy. Won the Wells Fargo a month ago, but since then hasn't been the weekends, I guess, that he's wanted. He finished +2 last weekend at the Memorial, still in search for that 5th major. And for Rory, it's just, you never know what you're going to get from him. He's kind of like Jordan Spieth right now, where his play is just all over the place. He swings it really well, especially with the driver, obviously. One of the top on the tour as far as distance goes and club head speed, but just can't win a lot of tournaments right now, and especially not a major, and I think it's been a decade since he won his last major. So for Rory, he's definitely frustrated. He's made it known that he, obviously wants to win another major, and that he's, concerned with how his play has been over the past couple of years. But he said recently that he feels really good going into the U.S. Open, feels really good going into Pinehurst, a tournament and a course where a lot of the players feel comfortable. They've played it a ton of times. So it kind of just depends on which Rory shows up. He can win it, and we'll see, how he does as far as just clicking on his first day, because sometimes it's where he just doesn't start as well as he needs to. He only has 1 or 2 shots under par in the first round, and from there he's just too far back from the leaders to really catch up, and he never puts together, a 6, 7, 8, maybe 8's a little bit too much for a major, but, a 4, 5, 6 under par round in a major recently, and so it's just tough for him to compete for the title when he's not putting together those, mid-60s rounds, which you need to compete with Scottie Scheffler or Xander Schauffele, who won the PGA Championship when he shot a 62. So, for Rory, just needs a low round, needs his putter to fall, and obviously he can win it. I don't know if he will this tournament, but he says he's playing well, so I'll trust him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he will do well this tournament, maybe another top 10 finish, but I don't know if he gets it done again. Now, the one LIV player I will point out is Bryson DeChambeau. He finished second at the PGA Championship and tied sixth at the Masters earlier this year. As for Live Golf, a couple weeks ago in Houston, he tied 18th. He's kind of been one of the most popular golfers on, I won't say on tour because he's not on the PGA Tour, obviously, but in the world, getting a fandom recently for whatever reason. I think maybe his actions in a positive way at the PGA Championship, trying to delight the crowd, being a little bit more emotional, something that just normal humans can relate to, and with his massive driver that he has, the distance that he has on all of his shots, obviously gives him a huge advantage wherever he plays. And, he's feeling good about himself. He's, said that he's extremely confident, even if he hasn't won a Live tournament recently, which is a bit of a surprise considering how well he plays when he plays in the majors. And a lot of people are backing him to do really well again this tournament. He's obviously, not been able to pull through, and for being one of the hottest players on tour or in the world right now as far as just his popularity of his golf game and how well he's playing throughout the tournaments, for him to not pick up a win is interesting, concerning, I guess. He hasn't won, so it's not like we can be like, oh my gosh, he's favored to win again, because there is no again to it. He hasn't won a lot recently, but he's definitely one of those players which everyone will have their eye on, and can obviously go out in a major, kind of like Brooks Koepka. They just kind of show up and perform really well most of the time. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on. The one Live player I'll point out, just as a whole, just because he's done the best from the Live guys back in when they go to the majors. Brooks Koepka obviously will show up. We'll see how he does. Phil will come along. John Rahm, we'll see. He's got an injury, I think, with something that says it's nagging him. He's not really sure if he'll be able to make it. So we'll see what performance the Live guys give out. Brooks still the only guy to win a major after joining Live. So we'll see, that kind of competition again going head to head at Pinehurst this weekend, and we'll see, kind of how it all plays out with the PGA and Live guys. But I think DeChambeau will perform the best out of the Live guys. He seems to be, conquering the PGA Tour courses better and coming back into that realm of things best, from Live when the majors come around. And then lastly but not least, of course, when he is playing, we do need to mention him. It's Tiger Woods. Last played at the PGA Championship, shot +7 and was cut. Had a couple of really bad holes where he would have like a triple bogey or quadruple bogey. Not really what everyone wants from Tiger. Obviously, when he's out there, he'll draw a big crowd. All the eyes will be on him. All the TV networks will be on him. And everyone loves to see him play. He says he's feeling good, and he says that the hot temperatures in Carolina will help him with his, back, knee, leg injuries that he's got, which is true. They obviously can't get cold or tight, so that'll be good for him. And another key point is the early-late start time that he has. He tees off 7:30 Eastern, I think, on Thursday, and then so he'll finish his round, a little bit after noon, and then he has the whole day to rest in the afternoon, and then he doesn't tee off until 1:30 on Friday, which is a big thing for his rest and recovery. So in an early morning on Thursday, but he said with his injury that he likes that early, late start time because it can give him plenty of time to rest in between rounds and make it to the weekend. Kind of like he did at the Masters, where he played well enough to make the cut, obviously, for the, whatever it was, 23rd straight time. And so I think that early start time could be the difference, as long as he doesn't have any terrible holes, if he can just grind out pars, maybe pick up a few birdies. I don't know how the course conditions will be in the morning compared to the afternoon. Sometimes, a rain shower comes in. Sometimes wind picks up as the day goes on. So that early start time on Thursday could help him out with conditions as well. We'll see how well his golf game is. You obviously can't, get the live reps, the tournament competition, the heat of the moment when you're not playing golf. But he's been at Pinehurst the past couple of weeks. One of my friends lives around there and kind of is involved in that scene, and he's been able to take photos and take videos of him. So I know he's been around there practicing on the course, so he's definitely got the experience. I mean, he's Tiger Woods. What am I saying? but he's got the feel for the course recently this week, and so I think it's one of those tournaments where if he gets out strong, as long as he doesn't blow up on any hole, we could see him making the cut into the weekend. He's not gonna win the tournament, but as long as he's playing on the weekend, I think everyone is happy about that. And we'll see how he does. Hopefully, a little bit better than the PGA Championship, where, like I said, not the best result for Tiger. But now moving on into how I think each will score. The four guys that I pointed out, as you can see right here, my list. Scotty Scheffler, I think, will win it. Bit of a boring pick, but that's just it is what it is right now in the golf world. Scotty Scheffler is so much better than everyone else right now, and I think that his mind's clear just had a baby, which is good for him. Congrats to him and his wife. Finally had the kiddo, and I think life right now is just treating Scheffler as best it can, and he's going to continue that streak, keep it rolling for Scotty. These scores I'm going to just put on there as we'll see. Tiger at +2, Bryson -10, Rory -12, -13, maybe somewhere in those ranges, and then Scotty, like the -16 area, where it's not going to be. Hopefully, I hate when tournaments, especially majors, finish where it's like -20 or whatever, or like the Players the past couple of years. The Scotty's won it, at -22. Like that's just what is that? Can we make the course a little bit harder? Or like the PGA Championship when Xander won it at -25 or whatever it was. Like, give me a break. Two guys, him and Shane Lowry, shooting 62s. Like, this is a major championship. We're gonna make these courses tough. I think one of my favorite majors was when Bryson won the 2020 U.S. Open, and he was the only player under par, -6 or whatever it was that he won it at. One of my favorite majors because I don't really like Bryson, but it was tough. It made the players work, and they kind of looked, like you and I, or at least me. I don't know about you, but at least looked like me every once in a while, where they were just not having a fun time out there. And it's good to see them think and struggle every once in a while, not just make a birdie every single hole. But this is my U.S. Open prediction. Hopefully, it's a good tournament. We'll see if Scotty can bring home another major and continue this great run that he's on. Make it 5 out of the last 9. I think that would be for him if he wins this weekend. We'll see if Rory can bring him his 5th major title. See if Bryson can help the live guys out a little bit and continue his run of form when he's back on the majors. And then for Tiger, just hope for a good week of golf. As for some other names, Jordan Spieth, I mean, who knows? We're going to get with him. He could win it, or he could get cut. Literally, as in, like, you just never know what you're going to get out of him. He, just his play is literally all over the place. Aubert, another player to be on the watch out for, obviously, looking for his first major. Xander playing really good golf as well. Justin Thomas, obviously another really good player, and we'll see how some of those top guys do. It should be an interesting week, but until then, enjoy the golf, and I'll see you guys next time.